What is up, faggots? Today we are back again with another video. This is a tier list of every current NBA player. Let's get straight into it, guys. So let's go. So starting off with these Hawks. Trae Young is, I'd say he's all NBA caliber slash number 2 option on a championship team. Dyson Daniels, I'd say last year I'd probably say like great starter or like I don't know, but since he can't shoot, I'd have to put him in the good starter. But he could low-key maybe even fall down to like decent starter like next year if he just can't shoot at all anymore. I'd say Ricochet is a decent starter. Jalen Johnson, I'd say he's in there, that same tier. Porzingis, he's still a good starter. No, I'd say he's a good starter. Kongwu, he still has room to improve, but I'd say right now he's just a good starter because his defense could use a little bit of work, but he's improved his offense and his like 3-point shooting a lot. Let's say Luke Kennard. He's more of a bench guy. He's a good bench guy though. For shooting and stuff. Same with Vit. So now we're on to some Celtics. Derek White, he's definitely a great starter. Jaylen Brown, I'd say he's at number 2. JT, I mean he's a number 1. He's already proven that. Niang is a decent bench guy. Luka Garza, I'd say, honestly, at this point in time, I'd probably have to say he has no impact. Pritchard, I'd say he's a decent starter. Yeah, I'd say he's a decent starter. Cause like he has his ups and downs. He has this, he has his strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, I'd say decent starter. But you could argue he's just like a good bench guy. Actually, no, I kind of do want to put him there. Yeah, he's more of a bench guy. Probably. I could look up stats. Let's look at some stats. I'm gonna try not to look at stats too much, but I don't know. I want to see if he's improved this year or something. So he won 6-man last year, and 17, 4, and 5 on decent efficiency. Yeah, that's okay. So I think I will actually put him up to a decent starter. Anthony Simons, he's really more of a bench guy. I don't even know what team he's on anymore. Sam Hauser, bench guy. Keita, I mean, he's a good backup center, so I'd say good bench guy. Walsh, decent bench guy. Baylor Shireman, I'd say. He's like decent. Xavier Tillman, no impact. Cam Thomas, I'd say I'm thinking decent starter. Is that like, I think that's Demon Denim or whatever the fuck his name is. Demon. I don't really know too much about him, but I think at this point in time, he's just like a decent bench guy. Although I know he's starting on this particularly awful Nets team. MPJ, I'd say he's just a good starter, but he has a lot of opportunity in Brooklyn. Yeah, he could be. You could argue he's probably a great starter actually. I'll come back to him. I'm not 100% sure who that is. Nicholas Claxton. I'd have to say decent starter. Maybe like a year or two ago, he was a good starter, but now it's just kind of decent. I don't think he really. I don't know. He's just not that good anymore. I mean, he's decent, but it's just like. Yeah. What's this dude's name again? Terrence Mann. Decent bench guy. It's like Charore. I don't know how to say his name, but decent bench guy. Decent playmaker, I think. Who's this guy? Is that Danny Wolf or something? Or is this white guy, Danny Wolf? I'm not sure. I'll have to look these people up soon. Maybe I'll go through it and just at the end maybe put those guys in. This dude, his name's like it's like a Xavier or something like that. He used to be on the Grizzlies. To my knowledge, he's like really inefficient. I would have to say, I'll just say no impact. I think he's close to actively bad, but for now I'll leave him in no impact. I'm pretty sure this one is Danny Wolf. I'll look up Danny Wolf. Yeah, that's Danny Wolf. Let's look at his stats. Really inefficient. 9 points, 5 rebounds. Pretty terrible. Let's say, considering he's on the Nets, I mean, realistically, I think I might be being too generous. He is actively bad when you think about it. So, yeah, I'll put him actively bad. Same with this dude, honestly. He's not good. And oh wait, this is like Noah Clowney. I'd say, I guess just decent bench guy. And then Day'Ron Sharp. It's I mean, Day'Ron Sharp's better than Noah Clowney, I'd say. So I'd say both are just like decent bench guys, not necessarily good. I kind of want to add another tier. I'm thinking about adding another tier for like, I don't know. Never mind, I won't. Yeah, I'm not sure who these two people are at the moment. I'll move on a little bit to the, well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll move on. I'll come back. LaMelo. I'd say he's a good starter. Miller. Yeah, good starter. Conknipple, I'd say he's a good starter as well. Bridges, he's more of a bench guy. I don't like him. He's really inefficient. And he should be in jail, probably. Diabate, he's actually a good you could say I'd say decent starter this year. He's kind of been proving himself to be pretty good. Sexton, he'd be best suited as a bench guy, so I'd say good bench guy. This guy, he is just a decent bench guy, really. This dude, I'd say Trey Man, decent bench guy. Salon, I'm trying to check. I'm gonna check something real quick. How do you spell his name? Bro. So he's been shooting good from 3 this year. But I know last year he was like awful in every aspect. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to judge so quickly with him, I guess. But I'd say, I guess, decent bench guy. But last season he was definitely actively bad. Grant Williams, decent bench guy. Mason Plumlee, I'd say now in his career he doesn't really have any impact. Dinwiddie, no impact really anymore. Pat Connaughton's like the definition of a no impact player. Ayo DeSumo, he's a good bench guy. Not Sexton. Kobe White, decent starter. Josh Giddey. I mean, he's a good starter if that's what your team needs, but I would stay away from him really. Mattis, decent starter. Vucevic, yeah, I'd say good starter. He's held up pretty well, despite that one bad season he had a few years ago. Patrick Williams, decent bench guy. He's really overpaid though. I don't know who that guy is. Kevin Huerter, his shooting has been inconsistent since leaving the Hawks and Kings. So I'd have to put him in a decent bench guy. Isaac Okoro, just decent bench guy. What's this dude's name? It's like Terry, like Jalen Terry or something. I'd say no impact. Jalen Smith, no impact unless I'm missing something. Devin Carter, no impact. Trey Jones, I'd say he's a good bench guy. Yuki Nakamura or whatever it is. Realistically, you couldn't play him in a playoff game, but I'd say no impact. Zach Collins, I guess he's a decent bench guy, but I'd rather have him as like my third string bench guy than a yeah. So that's why he's not good. He's decent. Darius Garland, I'm thinking good starter. Maybe he'll prove himself to be better than that in LA. Donovan Mitchell, I'd definitely say he is in this tier. All NBA caliber / great number 2. But I don't think You could maybe have. You could maybe win a ring with Donovan Mitchell as your number one scoring option, but not as like your number one best player. I don't think. Although I do like the Cavs a lot this year. I think they're the best team in the probably the best my I think they're the best team in the East. Max Strus, good bench guy, I'd say. Evan Mobley, I'd say he's a yeah, it's like more like all star tier. Jared Allen, I'd say he's a great starter. DeAndre Hunter, he's more of a. I'm ignoring his awful contract. I'll just say he's a. I guess he's a good bench guy. Sam Merrill. Um, I mean, I think he's a good bench guy. He's probably better than Luke Kennard, so. Lonzo, he's actively bad nowadays. Dean Wade, decent bench guy. Is that Jalen Tyson? He's a decent starter, I'd say. At least this season. We'll see if he can continue that in the future. Larry Nance, he's a decent bench guy, but it's nice to have a versatile player like him on the bench. Kind of want to put him higher, actually. Good bench guy. This guy, I kind of forgot his name, but he's not that bad. Decent bench guy, and then I'm not sure who that guy is. Or that white dude. Wait. I'm trying to think if I know that guy. Oh yeah, that's Lachlan Olbrich. Yeah, he's no impact. Well, actually, he's bad, so I'll just put him in bad. Who's that guy? He kind of looks like Nazir Little, but he's not in the league anymore. Kyrie is I'd say all-star. He's more of like kind of like a third option now, especially with the injuries. I'm not too hopeful for him. At least as a second option, but more as a third option now on a championship team specifically. Clay, now he's just kind of a. Is he even a good bench guy anymore? I'll check his stats real quick. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, he's still a good bench guy. Cooper Flag. I'd say he's a great starter. AD. Let's say I'd say number 2 on a championship team. Although he can't play anymore. He really can't be he's not very active, but if he's healthy. Let's see. Derek Lively, the third. He's like a decent starter. I wouldn't say he's a good starter. PJ Washington. I see him more as like a kind of a good bench guy, but I don't know. He's kind of between good bench guy, decent starter. So I'll put him in good bench guy. I don't like him too much, to be honest. Max Christie, I'd say he's definitely a good starter now. Pretty surprised by his development. D'Lo, actively bad. Gafford, good bench guy. Oh wait, no, not good bench guy. Decent starter. I'm gonna check. I kind of want to check his stats. I kind of want to move him up to good starter. Yeah, I'm good actually. Okay. Najee Marshall. He's kind of a good bench guy. Was he even that good? I remember he bricked a wide open 3 to like win the game versus the Blazers earlier this year. So he hasn't been able to shoot for the past 2 seasons, but he is averaging 15. Yeah, he's decent. I'd say a decent starter. But I'd probably prefer, actually, I'll move him down. He doesn't really fit with starters because he can't shoot. So he's more of a bench, he's more of a, like, run the second unit type of guy. Or like a microwave. Dante Exum, he's a decent bench guy. But he is really good in 2K though. Caleb Martin, nowadays no impact. I don't think he even plays that much. This one guy, I'd say no impact at the current moment. Brandon Williams, I think he's a good bench guy. I'll check his stats. I remember he was on the Blazers in 2022. He was definitely a high inefficient scorer on the Blazers. 13 on okay efficiency. Except apparently he can't shoot at all, so or at least can't shoot efficiently. I'd say he's kind of just a decent bench guy, really. Just kind of taking a lot of shots. Dwight Powell, no impact. Jamal Murray. So I'd say he's in this tier, although he did obviously win a championship as the number 2. But he's more of this tier. Christian Brown. Kind of want want to check his shooting numbers. Yeah. So his shooting this year is way down. Last year, I'd say probably like good, maybe I'd say like decent starter, but now he's more of a good bench guy if he can't shoot. And then Johnson, he's a decent starter, I guess. Aaron Gordon. I feel like he's I'm thinking great starter, but I'm gonna check his stats first. $18, $50, $40. Yeah, I'd say he's a great starter. I mean, he can fit on any team. I mean, he's a great cutter, but he's also a great shooter. Jokic, I mean, he's the best player in the league. Payne Watson, definitely a good starter. Been really good this year. Jonas, he's a good bench guy. Hardaway, good bench guy. Spencer, whatever his name is. Decent bench guy. He's kind of an inefficient shooter. Bruce Brown, decent bench guy. Najee Marshall, not Najee Marshall. Zeke Najee, he's bad. Okay, now we're on the Pistons. Cade, I'd say. I feel like you could win a chip as the best player. I got him at like fourth in MVP this year. But I do think this is a weak year for the race. So yeah, he could probably win a chip in the future as a he could possibly win a chip as the best player in the future. So I'd say I put him in that one. I'll check Jaden Ivey's stats because I've heard some bad things. Let's see. So on Detroit this year, a decently efficient 8 points, I guess. And then on the Bulls this year in 4 games, okay efficiency, 11 points. I don't know. I've heard his injury has really debilitated him, but I'd still put him as a decent bench guy. Sar Thompson. I'm worried about the Pistons shooting woes. If they have Duran and Thompson in a playoff series, I'm not too optimistic about that, but I'd say he's a good starter, I guess. I know Pistons fans really like him. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good, I guess. I don't know. I mean, he's like about the same as like Dyson Daniels, so. Tobias Harris. I'm thinking. I'd say a decent starter. He's probably better than Cameron Johnson this year. Jalen Duren. Say say all-star caliber. A really good rebounder. And pick and roll. Karis LeVert, decent bench guy. Used to be better. This guy on the Pistons, he can kind of shoot. Well, no, he can't really shoot that well. But he's a good cutter, pretty good defender. But the lack of shooting is like a little concerning. He's like close to a good bench guy though. Robinson, I mean, if you can just excel at shooting like super well, like you're probably gonna at least be a good bench guy. But for the Pistons specifically, he's definitely more of a good starter because they really need his shooting in the starting lineup. Stewart, he's been really good the last few years. I'd say he's a good starter. B-Ball Paul, he's a decent bench guy. Doesn't play that much. Steph, I'd say. I think you could probably want him as him as the best player a chip, but like you need the roster to be like really strong around him. But it's still probably put him here. Actually, I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I mean, definitely the Warriors wouldn't be able to build a contender around him anymore. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, guess I would put him still in there at the top tier. But he healed. I'd say he's a good bench guy. I guess. Look, I mean, I should put these two both higher. Because I'd say like what separates Duncan Robinson from like Luke Kennard and Sam Merrill is that he's like taller than them. And he's not the worst ball handler in the world. He's an okay cutter also. Jimmy Butler, I feel like he might be bad after his injury. But I'd still put him in good starter. Draymond I'd say he's still a decent starter. Quentin Post, for his shooting, it's a good option as a center. So I'd say he's a good bench guy. Moses Moody, I guess he's a good bench guy. Pods, I guess, yeah, he's a good bench guy. This dude, I'm pretty sure he's on like the Kings now or something. He's kind of a no impact type of dude, in my opinion. Who's this dude? Oh, it's that one guy. I kind of forget his name, but doesn't really have any impact. Kuminga, it's more of a bench piece. I would stay away from him if I was a GM. Fred VanVleet. I'd say he's a good bench guy. I don't really think he's starter caliber. Eamon Thompson. I'd say good starter. He would be in great starter like last year, but he's kind of been worse. And after this P break, we're gonna come at you with KD. We're gonna see where KD ranks. But we're gonna have a piss break at the moment, guys. And it doesn't let me pause this video of this recording, and I'm definitely not gonna edit it. So yeah, piss break. Hey guys. Hey guys. Alright, we are back from our piss break. Guys. Alright. Let's see. Okay, now we're on to KD. Alright, KD. I'd say KD is I'd say he's in that number 2 on a championship team. Because actually I don't know. He's kind of better than Steph at the current moment. I don't know. I kind of want to move Steph down, to be honest. I'm gonna check his stats. It's 27. I guess I would still put him in the top tier. KD. Yeah, I'd put KD up there as well. I like how this guy put the 3 biggest notorious criminals all at their mugshot instead of their photo. Let's see. So now we got this dude. I feel like he's a good bench guy. He's kind of just inefficient. Yeah, he's inefficient. I mean, and inconsistent as well. Sengun. I don't think Sengun's that good. I think he's more of a great starter. I honestly don't think he's even like an all-star type of guy. Shepard. He's pretty good. I'd say he's a decent starter. Finney Smith. Yeah, he's like a good bench guy. I'm not sure if he's played that much this year, but Steven Adams, he's a good bench guy to have, the option. Yeah, you can run some lineups with him. Eason, I think Eason's a good starter. He's a good shooter and a really good defender. Josh Okogie, is I'd say a decent bench guy. Pretty good 3-and-D player. Clint Capella, decent bench guy. Halliburton, let's see. I'd say he's about here. Would have won a chip as the number 1 option last year, probably, but it got hurt in Game 7. Mathurin. He's like a decent starter. This Neesmith, I'd say he's a good starter. Siakam, I'd say, yeah, like all-star caliber, kind of like a 3rd option. Although he won one championship as the 2nd option and almost won another one as the 2nd option, but I'd still just say 3rd option. Jackson, no impact. Nemhard, I think he's a good starter. McConnell, it's kind of a good bench guy if you want to get like a nice facilitator who can still play pretty good defense. Obi Toppin, he's a good bench guy, I suppose. This guy's a decent bench guy. Yeah, actually, it's kind of like a no impact guy. Wiseman, kind of has no impact. Furphy, no impact. Huff is a good bench guy. Walker, I think he's a decent bench guy. Bradley, no impact. Harden. Let's see, Harden is I'd say I'd say 3rd option nowadays. Beal. Yeah, more of a good bench guy now. Although last year I'd probably put him higher. He's actually pretty good last year. Kawhi. I'd say he's about here. Zubac. I feel like it's more of a, it's kind of like it's a good starter. I'm not too high on Zubac. I feel like he's kind of just gets carried by his pick and roll partners like Harden. But he might be good next year, I suppose, with Tyrese. But I think he's not. He has to prove to me just a little bit more. Collins is a decent starter, I guess. Chris Paul, actively bad. Bogdan, I'd say he's like a decent bench guy. Actually, he might be more of a good bench guy. Maybe not. More like decent. Maybe a year or two ago, he'd be a good bench guy, but not really this year. Lopez, I guess decent bench guy. He's pretty good in 2K. You can splash threes with him, and they don't guard him usually. Batum, he's just a decent bench guy. Chris Dunn, he's like a decent bench guy, more like kind of just if you really need some defense, but he's like an option. It's good to have the option for him. Derrick Jones Jr., good bench guy. Luka, I'd say definitely a number one. Reeves, I'd say he's like a great starter. Yeah, but he probably needs a lot of defense. You need a lot of defense around him. LeBron. This year, it's might be just a good starter. I'll check his stats. So 22, 6, and 7. Decent, well, pretty good field goal percentage, but the 3-point percentage isn't very good. If you do the last 2 years, I mean, last year, I'm not going to do that actually. Last year he's much better than this year. He might just be a good starter nowadays. Well, actually, I don't know. It's kind of just, I don't know. No, he's probably still a great starter, but the effort is questionable sometimes. Hachimura, I feel like he's a decent starter. Aiden, I'm thinking maybe I guess he's still a decent starter. But he adds effort, holds him back. This dude. I feel like he's kind of bad now. Yeah, he's ass. Let's see. Vanderbilt, I guess he's still a decent bench guy if you just want some defense. Bronny, I don't think he's good at all. Gabe Vincent, he's an okay bench guy. I actually like the fit a lot in Atlanta. Marcus Smart, I'd say he's a good bench guy. He's been good on the Lakers, much better than he was on the Grizzlies or the Wizards. I think Jackson Hayes, I guess decent bench guy. But if he's your starting center, you're in a lot of trouble. Jake LaRavia. I'm gonna check his stats. Okay, so his three-point shooting's been bad. So I'd say actively bad. Actually, Kleba, no impact. Yeah, I don't think he plays that much. Morant, let's say very low on Morant. I predicted his fall off this year before the season started. I'd say he's still a decent starter, though, I guess. But I wouldn't touch him with a 15-foot pole if I was a GM. Pope, good bench guy. Wells, I'd say a good bench guy. Jackson Jr. Yeah, great. I'd say great starter. Zach Edey, I would say he's a good starter. This guy, Jerome, more of a bench dude. Good bench player though. I think he should have won. He should have won Sixth Man of the Year last year, in my opinion. But he's been worse this year though. On the Grizzlies. Santi Aldama, I'd say he's honestly a decent starter. It's kind of similar to like Cameron Johnson this year. Pippen Jr. I would say good bench guy. Jackson, much of his stats. Yeah, I guess he's a decent bench guy. I don't know, is he a good bench guy? I mean, 50% from the field. I guess I'll give it to him. Brandon Clark. It was good like 4 years ago. But now, I don't know. I'll check his stats. Two games played this year. Yeah, he kind of fell off. I'll just say a decent bench guy. Vince Williams. I guess decent bench guy. Hero, I'd say good starter if that's what your team needs. Norman Powell is also, I'd say, a good starter. Andrew Wiggins, not Aaron Wiggins. Good starter. Bam. I'd say great starter. He's kind of regressing. So hopefully he'll, I guess, not do that. Although I don't really care if he does or not. Killer, good bench guy, I suppose. Davion Mitchell, I'd say the same for him. Haywood Highsmith, decent bench guy. He's like 6'8", so. Terry Rozier, definitely actually bad. Jaime Jaquez, You could argue decent starter, but I still have a lot of question marks. So let's just say a good bench guy. This dude, Jovic, I guess a decent bench guy, maybe. I'll check his stats. Yeah, this is awful. I had a sneaking suspicion that he was really bad this year. So yeah, he's definitely actively bad. Fontecchio, no impact. Ryan Rollins. More of a decent starter. I'd say somewhat close to good starter though. Cole Anthony, he's actively bad. Kyle Kuzma, I'll check his stats. Yeah, not that good, but let's see. His efficiency is better in Milwaukee than in Washington. In Washington, I'd put him in actively bad, but now in Milwaukee, I'd say he's more like a decent bench guy. Because at least he's 6'8". Giannis is obviously in the highest tier. Can I like zoom the page out or something? Yeah, I can. Okay, should be easier now. Miles Turner. I'd say he's still a. I guess he's still a good starter, but I don't know. I'm gonna check his stats. Yeah, the efficiency's ass, and yeah, he was selling last year in the playoffs as well. I'd say he's just a decent starter now. KPJ. I'll check his stats. Yeah, he's like a decent bench guy. AJ Green. I'd say a good bench guy. Bobby Portis. I'd say a decent starter. He can kind of light it up from three sometimes. Pretty sure it's in the 3-point contest this year. Gary Harris. I don't think he plays. Gary Trent Jr. I'd say he's a good bench guy. It's kind of the same as like AJ Green. They both can shoot well. Although AJ Green's a better shooter, I think. Let's see, Torian Prince. He's a good bench guy, just from he's been like being like 6'6", decent shooter, decent defender. I mean, every team could use some more Torian Princes. So is that Jericho Sims? Yeah. No impact. He doesn't really play. And then, kind of hard to see these people. Who is that? Oh, yeah, this dude. I forgot this guy's name, but I know he doesn't really play at all. But he's decent in 2K. Mike Conley. It's kind of just like a decent bench guy now. Edwards. It's you could definitely win a chip as the number 1 with him. McDaniels. I feel like he's a great starter. Randall. I'd say the same with him. Gobert. I'd say. I'll check the stats. I'll check the stats first. Why was he 13th in DPOI last year? Let's see. I mean, it's just like same old Rudy. It's just, I don't know. I keep him a good starter. Although I am a Rudy defender. Naz Reid, he's overrated. He's a decent starter. Same with Dante. Okay, so this is. Wait, where this? Okay. So did they trade him? Is this Jalen Clark? Is this Jalen Clark? No, the nose is different. Okay. Maybe they traded him or something. But this is Terrence Brown Jr., I think. Wait, who's this guy? Is that Rob Dillingham? Yeah, that's him. Okay. I'll check his stats. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, they're just awful. Actively bad. Ingles, I don't know if he plays that much, but I still feel like he's no, he doesn't play anywhere. No impact. Brown, I'd say. Nah. No impact, really. And then this guy, kind of forgot his name, but I know he's not very good. I wouldn't really. I'd say he's actively bad. And then now we got these Pelicans. DeJounte Murray. I guess decent starter. I don't know. Much better on the Spurs. Who's this dude again? Is that Jordan Hawkins? No. Okay, that's Jeremiah Fears, I think. Yeah. Okay. I'll check the stats. Pretty inefficient. I kind of want to put him in actively bad. Yeah, I'd say actively bad, but he could be decent in the future. But he probably will. I expect him to be at least decent in the future. But he's an awful defender and inefficient. So he's a bad. Who else? Kevin Looney, no impact. This dude is. I'd say Trey Murphy's a good starter. Actually, yeah, I'd say he's a great starter. Okay, I'll check his stats. I mean, that's about as good as Julius Randle, so yeah, I'd say he's a great starter. Not quite an all-star level player, though. And then Zion. I'd say great starter. It's not like he'll ever be healthy enough to be a third option anyway. It's just whatever. Well, if he's healthy, he could be a third option, but like he's not gonna be healthy, so I'm just gonna keep him in good starter. Is that Missy or that's the one? Maybe that's the rookie dude. He's I'd say a good bench guy as a rookie. And then Herbert Jones, good starter for. Can he shoot? Because if he can't shoot, I'm not gonna put him as a good starter. I'll just put him as a good bench guy for like some lineups. Yeah, he can't even do anything on offense apparently. I kind of want to say decent. I'll say decent starter, just for the defense. Jordan Hawkins, I'd say no impact. Jose Alvarado, definitely a good bench guy. Poole, yeah, it's actively bad, honestly. Unless I'll check his stats first. Yeah, he's just awful. Sadiq Bey, he's a decent bench guy. Actually, I'll check his stats though. It might be higher. 17 points per game this year. Yeah, I'd say a good bench guy. Actually, yeah. Kind of want to put him good starter. Nah, it's just like a fluke. Okay. Misi. He's okay bench guy. Brunson. I'd say Brunson is a number one on a championship team. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks make the finals. I think they're like the second best team in the East. No, Anunoby, he's definitely a great starter. Kale is also a great starter. And then Josh Hart is a good starter. And Cat is a all-star slash third option. Clarkson, I'd say, I'll check his stats. Yeah, decent bench guy. Pretty inefficient. Who's this dude? Is that Yabusele? He's a decent bench dude, I guess. McBride, I'd say, good bench player. I'd say Robinson is like a decent starter when he's healthy. But I think he plays on the bench mostly. Kolek is a decent bench guy. Shea. Definitely a number one. Lou Dort. Don't like him at all, but he's like a decent starter, I guess. Check his stats. Shooting is awful this year. It just tries to injure players. I'd say more this year is more of just a good bench dude. J-Dub, super overrated last year, and I'm pretty sure he's been pretty shitty this year. I'd say maybe a great starter. I'll check his stats. Yeah, pretty bad. Nah, wasn't that good last year either. Super overrated. Um, I guess I'll still give him a great starter though. But yeah, I don't think he's like all-star caliber or anything. Shit, say great starter. I don't think he's that good either though. Harnstein is like yeah. He's not that much better than like Gafford or Lively or Mitchell Robinson. Those guys, I'd say a decent starter. And then Caruso is a good starter. Actually, I don't know. He's had better days. I'd say decent starter now. Casey Wallace, he might be a good starter. I'll check his stats. Or no, a decent starter, not a good one. Not very efficient. I'd just say a good, more like a good bench guy. Kenrich Williams, decent bench guy. Kolatopic, I think he retired, so I guess I'll say no impact. I don't think he ever even played. Isaiah Joe, he's a good bench guy for shooting. Aaron Wiggins, good bench guy. Jalen Williams, decent bench guy. Usman Dang, I think he's on a new team now. I'll check his stats. So since being in Milwaukee, he shot pretty well from 3. It's only been 10 games though. It's just, I'd say, I guess, it's kind of a, I guess, decent bench guy. Small sample size. This dude. I predicted he was going to be good before the season started. And it's like a... Yeah, he's kind of more of a bench guy. Yeah. Jalen, this is almost over. Okay. Jalen Suggs is a... I think I'll just check his stats. Not the best offensively. I suppose he's a great defender, but still just put him in as a decent starter. Desmond Bain, I think he's been worse on the Magic. I'd give him the benefit of the doubt though, and put him in as a good starter. Franz Wagner, I'd say he's a great starter. Same with Paulo. Wendell Carter, it's kind of a, I'd say, a decent starter. Actually, no, I'd say more of a bench guy, actually. Smith, or no, Anthony, or whatever his name is. He's a decent starter, I'd say. Although I don't know if he can shoot. I'll check the stats. Yeah, that's pretty good. Keep him in as a decent starter. Tyus Jones, I don't think he plays really. Although he has been kind of ass. Yeah, he sucks now. Chet Howard is sucks ass. Goga. Both these guys are just kind of decent. pretty sick and tired of making this video, to be honest. But I'll wrap it up soon. Tyrese. Okay, I'll try to go fast. Tyrese Maxey. He's over there in the third. In the is that All-Star caliber? Maybe he's better than Trey. So yeah, All NBA second team. I mean All NBA second option. Sam McCain. Decent bench guy. Paul George. Who's that guy? Who is this again? I forgot this guy's name, but I'll put him in as a decent bench guy. Paul George. Still is I'd say a decent starter. Actually, yeah, I don't know. That might be a little generous. Maybe more of a good bench guy. Kyle Lowry. No impact. This guy, Glenn Grimes, good bench guy. Drummond is it's a good bench guy. Gordon, no impact. Oubre, decent bench guy. Jabari Walker, decent bench guy. Trent Wofford, also a decent bench guy. And then I don't know who that guy is. Yeah, I don't know who this dude is, honestly. Embiid is I'd say, what if he's, I don't know. I'd still put him in this third tier, but I'm not. I mean, he's probably not going to be healthy anymore ever, so. Booker. I'd say he's like a second option. Dillon Brooks. I'd say probably I don't know. I'm thinking he's a good starter or a decent starter. I'll check the stats. I guess I'll say good starter. Yeah, that's fair. Jalen Green. More of a bench guy, I'd say. Royce O'Neal. I think he's a good bench guy. Mark Williams. Let's see. I'd be kind of worried if he was my starting center. So I'd say he's a good bench guy. Allen. I'd say he's a good starter. Yeah, he's been really good this year. Malak. Yeah, I'll put him in no impact, honestly. He doesn't really do shit. Nick Richards. Yeah, Nick Richards doesn't do shit either. Jordan Goodwin. He's, I don't know. I'll check his stats. Yeah, he doesn't really do a whole lot. I'll just say no impact, although he's, I don't know. Yeah, he's like a third string. He doesn't do shit, really. I won't say he's bad or decent. And then this dude on the Suns, I don't remember his name. I don't really, just fucking, I'm not sure. Decent bench guy. Not sure who that guy is. If I don't know who they are, I'm just not going to rank them at this point. They're all either going to be, hey, if I don't know who you are, you're either a no impact, actively bad, or maybe a decent bench guy. Most of them probably no impact. Okay, now Blazers. I'm a Blazers fan, so might be a little biased, perhaps, maybe not. So Drew Holiday, I'd say he's a decent starter. Just kind of has his ups and downs. Shane Sharp, I'd say decent starter. He also has his ups and downs. Jeremy Grant, more of a good bench guy nowadays, but he did start off the season like really well. Klingon, okay. Klingon, I'd say definitely a good starter. But like I think he's really good though. Like he'll be I think he's already a top 10 center. And I bet he'll be a top like 5 center one day. Denny is a shit, let's see. I feel like he's more of a second option for on a championship team. It's better. I'd say he's better than all these guys. And then Yang Hansen is actively bad. Scoot is at this point in time playing like a good bench guy, probably. Maybe even a bad bench. Maybe even just a decent bench guy. Judging him out this season specifically, and yeah, this season specifically, I'd say he's just like a decent bench guy. And then Time Lord. Time Lord's a good starter, but he never plays. I'd say yeah, he's like about as good as Mitchell Robinson, so I'd say he's in the decent start. And then set Chris Murray. Yeah, it's Chris Murray. Chris Murray, he's a decent bench guy. Can't shoot that well, but he does everything else pretty good. He's a good rebounder. Tumani, I'd say Tumani's a good starter. He's like, he's just a great defender. You could argue he should have made all defensive first team last year. And I bet he'll make all defensive second team this year again. And his shooting's pretty good. And he's improved his volume from 3 as well. Matisse is definitely a good bench guy if you need defense, but he's very rarely healthy. Blake Wesley, decent bench guy. He's really fast though. Should have like a gold, like maybe like gold quick first step or something. And then Dame, I'd still say let's see. Okay. I'm expecting Dame to be an all-star next year. But I could definitely be wrong. We'll see. I could definitely be wrong here. Who knows? But he's either here or here. I'd still say all-star. Although I know he won't. Well, I don't know. He might make all-star team. We'll see. But yeah, I expect him to average like 25, 26 next year, something like that. And then Levine, I'd say he's a good starter. Malik Monk, a good bench player. DeMar, good bench player. And maybe a decent starter actually. Yeah, okay, decent starter. Although I definitely, with his play style, you'd rather just run him at the bench, top on there. But Keegan Murray, more of a good bench player. He's not really starter caliber anymore. Sabonis, it's a good starter if it's what your team needs, but it's not really a good defender, so I don't know. Keon Ellis, I'd say he's a decent starter. I think he needs more opportunity. Schroeder, pretty good bench guy, I guess. Drew Eubanks, I don't know. Yeah, no impact really. Dario Saric, pretty ass. McDermott doesn't play. Fox. Fox is like a good starter. I don't think he's really all-star caliber. All these Spurs players look the same. Okay, Devin Vassell, decent starter. Keldon Johnson, kind of a, I guess, good bench guy. Although I think maybe a year or two ago he's more of a. Actually, I don't know. I'd say just decent bench guy. Actually, who is that? Okay, Harper, I guess, decent bench guy. Hasn't been that good this year, to my knowledge. Wemby, definitely on the top tier. Stephen Castle. Let's say he's a. I'll check his stats. Yeah, not that good actually. Decent starter. Kelly Oubre. No, that's not Kelly Oubre. Kelly Olynyk is, I guess, decent bench guy if you need some center shooting play. Harrison Barnes, decent. Maybe good bench player. Yeah. Luke Cornett is a good bench player. Brandon Ingram, I'd say good starter for him. Podol, I guess he's a decent starter. Actually, I don't know. I guess, yeah, whatever. Grady Dick, he's kind of bad. I guess decent player, decent bench player. Barnes, I'd say he's like third option type player. Yeah. Who's this person? Carter Bryant, no impact. Sohan, bad. Lindy Waters the third, bad. Let's see. Is that Ben Simmons? Oh, he's not in the league anymore. Taj Gibson has no impact. Seth Curry, no impact. Kevin Love, definitely no impact. Shamit, he plays still. Tucker, no impact. Brogdon, no impact. Is that Jay Crowder? No, it's not. Torian Prince, no impact. Monty Bates, no impact. Tristan Thompson, no impact. Cool beans. Let's say Anderson also has no impact. Actually, that's not true. I'd say decent bench guy. Okay. Emmanuel Quickly. I'd be worried if he was the starter on my team, so I'd say a good bench guy. Barrett. Wait, did I say good bench guy? Oh yeah, good bench guy. Barrett, decent starter. Honestly, I'll say that I kind of want to say the same thing for Podol. I'd be worried if he was my starting center, so I'd just say a good bench guy. Mamo, decent bench guy. That one guy on the Jazz who gets us a lot of assists occasionally. Decent bench guy. Who is this? I'm not quite sure who this person is. This guy doesn't do shit. This guy sucks ass. This dude is actually bad. Williams. Keon, no, whatever his name, Martin, is no impact. Okay. I'd say D'Anthony Mellon. Yeah, he's no impact either. He doesn't do shit. Bagley, decent bench guy. Horford, kind of a decent bench guy now. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's go. Alright, Markkinen. He's a good starter. Who was that? Filipowski. Decent bench player. Walker Kessler. He's a decent starter. Nurkic. I'd say he's a good bench player now. That one guy. The rookie dude, I'd say decent bench player. This guy doesn't play very much. Taylor Hendricks is trash. Keontae George. It's been good. Surprising me, I didn't think he'd be good, to be honest. I'd say he's a great starter now. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like I should put both of them in great starter. Yeah, they're definitely both. I'll put MPJ down, honestly. This guy is on the Jazz. He sucks. This is like Trey Johnson or some shit. He's like a decent bench player. CJ. CJ's a decent starter still. Keyshawn George is a good starter. Coulibaly, decent bench player. He's overrated by Wizards fans. Sarr is a good starter, but I think in the future he'll be really good. Chris Middleton, decent bench player. Malik Beasley, good bench player. Justin Champagny, decent bench player. Kispert, decent bench player. Maybe this is Trey Johnson here. Whatever. Maybe that was Bub Carrington. I'd still put him in decent bench player anyway. No, he sucks ass. Bones Highland's fucking terrible. He's extremely good in 2K though. Branham, no impacts. Peyton, I guess decent bench player if you need defense. Boucher, decent bench player if you need a 6'9" shooter. I'm not sure who this dude is. Landry Shamet. He's a decent bench player if you need some shooting. Matthews, no impact. kind of, yeah, I forgot this dude's name at the moment, but yeah, put him in no impact. I don't think I know who this guy is at the moment. And Thomas Bryant, decent bench player. This one dude on the Pistons, I'd say, is also a decent bench player. I'd say Russ, good bench player. Alright, I don't know who these dudes at the bottom are, but they're all either no impacts or actively bad. And, alright. Well, it's not loading. Okay. Well, that's the video, guys.